All right, get this. We're talking brand new isotopes discovered.
Yeah.
Which is already cool enough to make this deep dive epic.
Oh, absolutely.
I know isotopes might sound like, ugh, back to the textbook.
Right.
But trust me, this is the good stuff.
Yeah.
This is the kind of science that makes you see the universe a little differently.
It really is. And what's remarkable here is not just the discovery itself, but the how. We're talking about pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible, right?
Okay.
By accelerating a uranium beam to, like, absolutely record-breaking power levels.
Wow.
This isn't just adding a few lines to a textbook. This is fundamentally changing how we study the universe at its most basic level.
Okay, see, that's what grabs me. Record-breaking power.
Yeah.
But uranium, that's one of those elements that's notoriously difficult to work with, right?
Absolutely.
It's like trying to wrangle a herd of particularly grumpy cats. You never know which way they'll bolt next.
It really is.
What makes it so challenging to control?
Well, uranium is, well, it's a bit of a diva on the periodic table, right?
Right.
It's incredibly dense, and it has a mind of its own because of its unstable nucleus.
Okay.
It's like trying to make a house of cards on a windy day.
Right.
So achieving a continuous beam power of 10.4 kilowatts, which is what they did at the facility for Rare Isotope Beams, or FRE,
Right.
is a monumental feat.
Yeah.
To put that power in perspective,
Okay.
imagine focusing the energy of 3 household ovens
Wow.
into a beam thinner than a human hair.
Oh, my goodness.
That's the kind of precision we're talking about.
Wow. Okay. I'm starting to understand why everyone's calling this a pivotal moment.
Yeah.
FRIB, this facility, seems to be at the heart of it all.
It really is a remarkable place.
And uranium is the key. What is it about this element that makes it so crucial for this kind of research?
That's a great question. And you're right, FRIB is pretty much the only place on the planet right now that can do this. As for uranium, imagine it like this. Most elements, when you smash them apart, they break in predictable ways,
Right.
like a neatly sliced cake, right?
Okay.
Uranium, on the other hand, is more like a piñata exploding. You get a wild shower of different elements, including these rare isotopes that are incredibly valuable for research.
So uranium is kind of like the VIP ticket to discovering a whole new world of these rare isotopes because it breaks apart in such a chaotic, unpredictable way.
Precisely. And that brings us to those 3 new isotopes they discovered: gallium-88, arsenic-83, and selenium-96.
Wow, what a mouthful.
What's astonishing is they found them in just 8 hours of running the experiment.
8 hours.
That's unheard of.
That's like finding a winning lottery ticket under your couch cushion.
Right. It's incredible.
What does that kind of speed tell us about FRA's capabilities?
It speaks volumes, you know. For one thing, achieving this level of discovery so quickly means they've managed to get the facility operating with remarkable stability right out of the gate. We're talking about a massive, complex machine operating at peak efficiency.
Wow.
Every single component has to be working in perfect sync to achieve what they call optimal accelerating gradients, which basically means they're hitting that sweet spot where they can propel the uranium ions to nearly the speed of light without the whole thing going haywire.
Okay, so FRIB is this, like marvel of engineering.
Yeah.
Fine-tuned to wrangle unruly uranium
Yeah.
and produce these isotopes.
Right.
But before we get too far ahead, I have to ask,
Yeah.
why go through all this trouble?
Yeah.
What makes these new isotopes so special?
You're right.
It's not like we can just pop them into a phone and call it a day,
Right.
What's the point?
You're right. It's not quite as simple as that,
Right.
although the potential applications are pretty mind-blowing.
Okay.
Take medicine, for example.
Okay.
Right now, we use isotopes in things like medical imaging,
Right.
allowing us to see inside the human body without surgery.
Right.
But these new isotopes, especially ones like gallium-88, might be the key to developing entirely new forms of cancer treatment.
Wow.
More targeted, less invasive,
Right.
and hopefully more effective.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So we're talking about potentially revolutionizing healthcare with these tiny, fleeting particles.
It's true.
It's hard to even wrap my head around that.
Yeah,
It's wild.
it really is, and that's just one example.
Oh, wow.
Other isotopes might be the key to developing entirely new materials with properties we can only dream of today.
What? Like what?
Imagine lighter, stronger building materials, more efficient solar panels, or even superconductors that work at room temperature. What? The possibilities are truly vast.
Okay, now I'm really seeing why this is such a big deal.
Yeah.
But Before we get too lost in all the potential applications,
Right.
I want to circle back to the technology that made it all possible.
Yeah.
You mentioned they used a liquid lithium stripper. That sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It's pretty wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine you have these uranium ions, which are just uranium atoms stripped of some of their electrons.
Right.
To accelerate them to those crazy speeds,
Right.
they need to be electrically charged.
Okay.
The lithium stripper comes in to fine-tune that charge.
Okay.
It's basically a thin curtain of liquid lithium, which is great at donating electrons.
Okay.
As the uranium ions pass through, they grab electrons from the lithium,
Right.
leaving them with the perfect charge for acceleration.
So it's like an electron car wash,
That's a great way to put it.
stripping off just the right number of electrons to get those uranium ions ready for their high-speed joyride.
That's a great way to put it. And that's just one piece of the puzzle.
There's more.
They also have this incredible superconducting linear accelerator,
Okay.
a massive structure over 1,000 feet long, chilled to temperatures colder than outer space.
Oh my gosh.
Inside, hundreds of precisely tuned resonators use electromagnetic fields to boost the energy of the uranium ions, a little bit at a time, until they're traveling at a significant fraction of the speed of light.
1,000 feet. That's longer than 3 football fields.
It's huge.
Why do they need an accelerator that big?
It all comes down to energy and precision.
Oh.
The longer the accelerator,
Right.
the more opportunities we have to carefully nudge those uranium ions to higher and higher energies.
I see.
And the superconducting part is crucial too.
Okay.
By chilling the accelerator to such low temperatures, they eliminate almost all electrical resistance,
Right.
which means they can achieve those incredibly powerful magnetic fields without losing any energy to heat.
Wow.
It's a marvel of engineering, really.
It sounds like they thought of everything.
They really did, yeah.
But I have to admit, all this talk of accelerators and lithium strippers, it's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most innovative or essential piece of tech that made this breakthrough possible? If you had to pick one MVP, who would it be?
You're right, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick an MVP, it would have to be the superconducting linear accelerator itself.
Really?
It's the heart of the facility,
Okay.
and it's what allows them to achieve those mind-boggling beam energies with pinpoint accuracy.
Right.
Without it, this discovery simply wouldn't have been possible.
So the accelerator is like the rock star of this whole operation.
Definitely.
The one that makes everything else fall into place. I can dig it.
Absolutely.
But I'm also curious about the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
We've talked about the amazing technology
Right.
and the potential applications.
Yeah.
But what I'm really fascinated by is what this all means for our understanding of the universe.
Right.
These new isotopes. Where do they fit into the grand scheme of things?
That's a profound question.
Really?
And it gets to the heart of why we do this kind of research.
Okay.
You see, there's this chart called Chart of Nuclides,
Okay.
or sometimes the nuclear chart. You can think of it like the periodic table.
Okay.
But instead of listing elements, it maps out all the possible combinations of protons and neutrons that can make up an atomic nucleus.
So like a blueprint for the building blocks of matter.
Exactly.
Huh.
And every time we discover a new isotope, it's like adding a new entry to that blueprint,
Wow.
expanding our understanding of what's possible at the most fundamental level.
Okay.
What's really cool about these newly discovered isotopes is that they exist in a region of the chart that we haven't explored much before.
Really?
A kind of island of instability, if you will.
An island of instability. I like that.
Yeah.
So what does it mean that these isotopes are on this unexplored island?
Well, it means they're pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible
Okay.
in terms of nuclear structure.
Wow.
They're kind of like the rebels of the nuclear chart,
Right.
existing right on the edge of what the fundamental forces of nature will allow.
Okay, now you've definitely piqued my curiosity.
Yeah.
We're talking about isotopes on the edge of existence, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible.
Yeah.
This is where things start to get really interesting.
Right.
But I think we need to take a quick pause
Okay.
and come back to really unpack the implications of all of this.
Right.
What can these rebellious isotopes tell us about the universe? We'll find out right after this. We're back and
Yeah.
ready to dive even deeper into this island of instability.
Absolutely.
You were about to explain what these rebellious isotopes can tell us about the universe.
Right.
I'm all ears.
What's fascinating about these isotopes is how incredibly short-lived they are.
Okay.
We're talking fractions of a second before they decay into something more stable.
So they're like tiny flashes of lightning in the vastness of the nuclear chart.
Yeah.
Here one moment, gone the next.
A perfect analogy.
Wow.
And their fleeting existence actually tells us something incredibly profound about the delicate balance of forces within the atom itself.
Okay.
Remember those fundamental forces we were talking about?
Yeah.
The strong force, which wants to hold everything together,
Right.
and the electromagnetic force, which wants to push like charges apart.
Right. It's like a constant tug of war happening at the subatomic level.
Exactly.
Right.
And in most atoms, the strong force wins out,
Right.
keeping the protons and neutrons bound together in the nucleus.
Okay.
But in these newly discovered isotopes, that balance is incredibly precarious.
Okay.
They're right on the edge, just one proton or neutron away from tipping the scales and flying apart.
So by studying these isotopes, which are basically living on the edge of existence,
Yeah.
scientists can get a glimpse into the rules that govern that fundamental tug of war.
Precisely.
Wow.
It's like trying to understand how a house is built by watching it get demolished.
Right.
By seeing where things break down, we can learn more about the underlying structure and the forces that were holding it together.
Right.
In the case of these isotopes, we're learning about the extreme limits of nuclear stability,
Wow.
which tells us a lot about the fundamental forces that govern all of matter.
Okay, I'm starting to see why this is so groundbreaking. It's not just about discovering new isotopes.
Yeah.
It's about using them as tools to unlock deeper mysteries about the universe itself.
Exactly.
It's like each new isotope is a piece of a cosmic puzzle that we're slowly putting together.
That's a great way to put it.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Well,
What are the big questions they're hoping to answer with these rebellious isotopes?
one of the most fundamental questions is, where did all the elements that make up our universe come from?
Okay.
We know that the Big Bang produced mostly hydrogen and helium,
Right.
but the heavier elements, like the carbon in our bodies or the oxygen we breathe, were forged in stars.
Right.
These new isotopes might hold clues to those processes,
Wow.
giving us a glimpse into the cosmic kitchens where the elements were cooked up.
So by studying these tiny, short-lived isotopes, we can gain a better understanding of events that happened billions of years ago, shaping the universe as we know it. It's mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling,
Right.
but it also highlights the incredible interconnectedness of everything in the universe. From the tiniest subatomic particles to the largest galaxies, it's all governed by the same fundamental laws of physics.
Right?
And each new discovery, no matter how small or fleeting, brings us one step closer to understanding those laws.
This deep dive has been a wild ride. We've gone from wrangling grumpy uranium atoms to unlocking the secrets of the universe, all thanks to these rebellious new isotopes.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It really makes you appreciate the power of scientific curiosity and the incredible things we can learn if we dare to venture into the unknown.
I totally agree.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this thought. What other mysteries lie hidden within the atom, waiting to be revealed? What other groundbreaking discoveries are just around the corner? Join us next time for another deep dive into the fascinating world of science and technology.
See you next time.
Thanks for listening.